What is up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme, right here during each and every meditation we do leading into the solstice as we rock and roll into the higher frequencies. What is going on? Most likely, it'll be a very low outcast tonight. I was backwards today, could not get it together, although we did so much stuff. We rearranged the house and fixed a whole bunch of stuff around here. Pretty good day with that. But I feel like at some points, when we're cleaning fans and changing window openings for the cats and then wiping this off and cleaning that, oof. And we do this once a month at least, so hardcore, and then multiple other times, just randomly picking up, constantly moving. And we ran ourselves flat. I did. And then I passed out for like an hour, woke up with a second wind, man. I was drinking espresso and it put me to sleep today. When I woke up, I was starving. I haven't eaten in days. And I finally ate. And I ate so much that I could barely breathe tonight. And that was, I ate at 8 o'clock at night. I had rice and beans, and I had a plate of chicken chunks. I was just starving, let me just shove food in my mouth. And then I had half a Cubano. Because I don't remember ever having one. And I watched some Jon Favreau movie with John Leguizamo, whatever his name is, and he was like a chef in the truck, and it was really good. That movie was really good, and the whole time I was screaming things like "Plantanos" and "More butter, press that shit." So I wanted to start trying different foods and seeing what works with me. And now I feel like I anchored myself back into 3D. Oh, it's just a mess. Hi, everyone. How you doing? I'm just bouncing around a little bit to let a couple people come in. All the cats say hi. Man, one hell of a jump in energy from last night to today. Completely different, the energy. Today was way more light, way more effective. I kept trying to do Kali stuff, and then she kept saying, no, now insert Ganesha. So Ganesh is like her child. So he is abundant. He brings wealth and prosperity. He likes to dance and sing and move around. He's completely different than his mother. Although can do exactly the same thing his mother does, for sure. I've seen Ganesh throw it down. It's not some place you want to go with him. However, I'm noticing that with meditation, we talked a little bit about alchemy last night and how we're all just alchemists. Everything is alchemy around us. Magic has been subdued on this planet or in this frequency for a long time. And we're magic. We're literally magic. And to put it in motion, down the line, we'll just think and the thought will go. We'll just desire to do something. It'll manifest or whatever. But now, it's not just sitting there and kind of putting your intent into it and sitting around. There's like a movement to it and an intention, like a locomotive. Parts are equally moving in the proper form, creating maybe the vibration that's necessary to get into the whatever mode. So this is what we're doing. We're learning all the different ways because no one way has it right. Right. So right now we're doing characters, archetypes. Tomorrow we won't be. Tomorrow we're done with that. We go back to regular meditation again. We can just play cool music and just kind of breathe and do that stuff. But you have to have a taste of these mantras. It's something that works. I've had things that didn't work and things that really work. And then the things that didn't work, where you're like, oh, well, that doesn't work. It worked down the line on something else. I used seed mantras, which is the single word, like dome, aim, cream. And my notorious tale is in the post office. where these kids were going nuts. And I mean, in 2 seconds, this place was going to erupt into a brawl because I had been in this place, and there were brawls in the past inside the post office where they kind of corral everyone in, then lock the door and say, okay, nobody else is getting in. And then we're just going to take care of everyone in here. People start losing their shit. It's a really weird, place to be. And I started going dome, dome, and the kids just fucking calmed down. I was doing it loud. Naturally, I was doing it in my mind. I had my headphones on. And everything was calm. The minute I stopped doing it, they went back and were nuts. So I just, let me do this. And I did it for about 20 minutes. I made it through. Everybody was calm and collected. I got my stuff. Boom, I'm out of here. You guys want to fight now? Go fight. You got to put it to the test. You got to see, I don't know why the hell I'm so stuffy all of a sudden. You got to see what works for you. And then multiply and magnetize that shit and just keep expanding and accelerating into those directions, and then touching on the other stuff as you go. Don't poo-poo on anything. You could have something in your belt that you never use, and then one day you're just, oh man, I know exactly, blip, and it's done. It's something I picked up. Yeah, just like with me, I didn't think ever saying, in the name of Jesus, some weird noises in this house tonight. In the name of Jesus, I banish you or remove you from this person or whatever. And that shit worked in front of me, where I spent 2 days trying to figure out why nothing's working. And I never went back to the fucking box again. And it's like in our minds when we're children, like Jesus is presented, or Santa Claus, or whatever, the Wolfman. And then you're like, it's touched into your mind, whether you go to Catholic school, public school, whatever school. So there's different avatars that kids will get hit with. So a kid that may be in India will say Shiva. She's saying, oh, in the name of Shiva, that shit'll work for him. But even though I'm saying, well, I use Shiva and I don't use Space Jesus, I ask my clients, who do you look to? Well, I don't believe in any of that shit. And then they'll go, oh, Jesus. Like you'll hear them just talking, oh God, oh Jesus, right? And you'll go, oh, so you're down with the Jesus thing. Like it's implanted in there. There's an imprint of it, right? Mary's the Virgin Mother. I've heard all about it. The Holy Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Like I've heard of these things. And so when someone's under duress with like a demonic entity or a force of some kind, and you're trying things and you're like, come on, you have to work with me. Whoever you call to in this moment, who would you reach out to in a moment of you being attacked and you're going to die? So a lot of people, inside the foxhole turn to Jesus. So one of the other shaman yells, in the name of Jesus, and it instantly worked. You see the eyes light up. Oh, and then it was just coming out. I'm like, holy shit, that worked. And they're like, well, look, it's where the power lies within the person. Could have, like I've said this a long time ago, could have been the pineapple. If you said when the kid was young, instead of Jesus, and you inserted the word pineapple and explained that just fucking being around pineapples, man, this is just what happens. It makes magic happen. You get attacked by a demon and the shaman's trying to work with you, and I'm trying to figure out, because you're not from my tribe, what are you into, whatever. And then you're like, oh, holy pineapple. And I'm like, pineapple, holy shit. In the name of the pineapple, help this person and whatever. And then it starts working. And you're like, oh, I can't even believe that worked. And it's like, well, it's not about you. It's about them. You gotta stop making it about you. And I'm like, wow. So it's just a hodgepodge of all different things. And the answer is yes. That's where the neo shaman shit comes from. Not because it's a cool name. I didn't say, oh, I'll be the neo shaman because of the Matrix. No, it's when I was discussing definitions of it, because people get so specific. Oh, you're not a shaman. Oh, you've only been doing this 7 years. And I'm like, you're right. I'm a neo shaman. I take a little bit from everything. That's what it means. I take a little bit from the all. all around the board to make the whole thing work, period. So, then that's what we should all do. We should all do that. We have our things that work for us, but I'm going to tell you right now, you'll hit a level where that shit won't work. And you'll go, man, it worked every single time until today. And it's like, right. New levels, new devils, new densities, new frequencies, new dimensions, new sets of parameters. All kinds of crazy shit goes on. All right. So, Neo Pineapple. Shout outs to everyone that is joining us. So I got in before the 12 o'clock rock. So technically it was still the 20th when we started the meditation. Everything's flipping. Everything's flipping in my world. It's one day, you saw me yesterday shaking like a leaf. Today I'm like floating. But right now, I'm so heavy in my stomach. It's like a bomb went off in my belly. But I haven't had food in days. I've had like little pieces of 2 times over 2 days, little pieces of stuff. And a handful of Fruity Pebbles. It's almost like your body naturally, I don't want to say forced, because it's not forced. Because then when I get up and I'm like, I'm going to fucking eat, I don't care. And I go over to the fridge, I can't. And I don't know, Gary said something last night, and he got and I don't know if I actually answered his question about he just can't eat food that's processed and all kinds of stuff anymore. I went into my fridge 40 times. I know all of you've gone to the fridge 40 times. Now, I have like 5 favorites, and those 5 things I could just eat at a whim. Most people's like, nah, why do you do that like that? You could just cook it and make it. I'm like, no, I make things simple, easy for myself. So I could just kind of do what I got to do. I looked at it and was like, nope. Like I said, I smelt the milk. That was the most disgusting thing I feel like I've done personally. I just find that to be weird. It's one of those pet peeves, like, what are you doing, sticking your face in the milk like that? And I was going, yeah, I'm not going to drink that. It smells like death. And it was fine. Still fine. She's like, there's nothing wrong with the fucking milk. I'm like, you don't smell that? It smells like it's dead. She goes, no. It's homogenized milk. And I'm like, homogenized, pasteurized, 1%, 2%, fucking 18%, low fat, too short, too fucking fat. I don't know anymore. Right? Almond milk. I'm not drinking almond milk. You know how much sugar's in almond milk? And I'm a sugar person. I'm like an organic sugar. Like that means anything. Oh, it's organic sugar. It's not like white sugar, so it's like organic. It's like, well, is it sugar? Yes. Okay. Failed. Almond milk. How do you... I shouldn't even talk, Kevin. Kevin, how do you make almond milk, bro? You squeeze almonds? It was the same way you make coconut oil when you milk the sun. Oh my God. The crazy shit that goes on in this world. So things are going to change and things are going to move fast. I'm not afraid actually, but I fear that not everyone else is on board yet still. And it will be quite some time that the ascension process will kick into full gear and perhaps cause the solar flash anomaly that wakes up the mass consciousness as a whole. I think way more people have to come online. And this fucking process is so slow. And Paula and I are like, if we have to stay in this fucking house anymore. However, if I was presented with the opportunity, hey, Frank, look, there's your place. You ready to buy it? I'm like, no, crypto's kind of not where it's supposed to be yet. Still didn't get my court money yet, which should be here any fucking year now. So are you really ready to go? Nope. All right. So this is what the meditations are for. It's an upliftment to get us back into the creative mode, because it's our creativity and stepping away from the system, which allows the system to crumble and fall without us getting crashed by the energetic wave, because we're just too busy doing what we're supposed to be doing. And we're here to have a good time, love one another, and create. And that's it. Keep it simple. Michael, milking the sun. I'm telling you, it's coming. That didn't even sound right. If it's milk in the sun, then it's coming. Dun-dun-dun. That was not appropriate. All right, so that's how you get coconut oil. It's at least how I learned how to get the extra virgin coconut oil. So we'll do a 12-minute, 12-second meditation tonight. I'm not gonna talk shit for an hour like I did last night. We'll get right into it. So just get your candles, get your sages, your oils, a glass of water so we can charge it up, or whatever crystals you use, or nothing. Maybe just sit there and breathe, enjoy yourself, or laugh at us. Who knows? You need a sense of humor anyway in this. Okay, so just light it up. You know, if you like to smoke during your meditations, I love smoking during meditation right at the start. And then stretch. I think that's what I'm going to do tonight. I think I'm going to stretch and shake. Do rotation movements with my body. Floating rotation movements. Unfortunately, you cannot see my Fred Astaire this evening. Maybe one day. Take a nice deep breath, and I want everyone to ground themselves as we start this. Grow roots down deep into the center of 5D Earth frequency connections. And when you feel safe and secure and you're ready to bring in the new energy because you have successfully walked with Shiva, you have successfully walked with Kali and done the dance of destruction, you have taken down the negative and things that aren't necessary, and you said, look, I'm not with this anymore. It is time to remove this from me. And it was done, so it is. And now we're here, and now we're like, now what do? We did all this work. Well, I think now we should relax and be a little playful, have a good time, dance around the house a little bit. Try to enjoy yourself. I know it's late. Look, it's 12:12 exactly, so we're going to start it right now. Let me just share the screen up here. Get your glass of water ready to charge it with the highest vibrational energies. This is a Ganesh mantra. Just let it play out and enjoy it. This is a beautiful one. This great sound and an uplifting frequency. Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Sharanam Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Sharanam Ganesha Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Sharanam Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Sharanam Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Sharanam Ganesha Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Om Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Ganapati Ganapati Ganapataye Ganapataye Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha
Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. Sharanam Ganesha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Sharanam Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. Sharanam Ganesha. Ganapati. Ganapati. Ganapataye. Ganapataye. Ganapati. Ganapati. Ganapataye. Ganapataye. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. Sharanam Ganesha. Ganapati. Ganapati. Ganapataye. Ganapataye. Ganapati. Ganapati. Ganapataye. Ganapataye. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Sharanam.
All right, everyone, just take a moment, kind of bring yourself back from wherever wherever you decided to go. Ganesh always makes me feel great. He's such a big guy, right? Yet he's so gentle. Very soft. Necessary. Not everything he was telling me even needs to be the great push. He's like, you could sing the wrong mantra running backwards with your shoes on the wrong feet while picking your nose, you'll still do it. It's the intent mixed with the whole thing. These are just guides to help you bring in the energy. So this is like a wealth and abundance. And a lot of people confuse it. Wealth and abundance with just money. And that's not true. There's so much more to it. When you radiate all that is, you need for nothing. Right? And let's just say I don't know how to do something, even though I'm abundant. And Paul is really good at the stuff that I'm not really good at. And then we I love, and then, yay! And then when you work together, you kind of create it like an interlocking frequency. It's like the figure eight, the infinity turned on its side. And it just connects you. And it does that person to person too. You just vibing with your best friend. Oh man, it'd be so great if Spider-Man 4 had 20 extra villains and 16 extra guys. Yeah, that movie was fantastic, by the way. It's one of the best things I've ever watched, just in terms of childhood stuff coming to life. I can't talk about it because I don't want to ruin it. So many people ruined it for me. I want to throw my computer at everyone. And then I'm like, really, it's just a movie. But then you realize you kind of waited around since you were a kid to see this come out of the book. Like people with Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, they all feel, there's that one thing you attach to and you're like, oh shit. When Captain America picked up Thor's hammer and started beating the shit out of Thanos, the movie theater started shaking, right? When I was in, this was for Avengers Endgame. And then all the characters start coming out of the portals at the end of the movie, and he calls the hammer back to himself, and he goes, Avengers assemble, and everyone screams. The theater just stood up. It was weird. I was in a really cool theater with adults and stuff, and you could order like steaks and drinks or whatever. And people were like fucking crying, like happy tears. And I know that sounds so weird, but you finally, like my grandmother saw Jurassic Park in the movies, and she goes, I made it to see dinosaurs. And she started crying. Because that was like the craziest shit at the time. She's like, oh, that's what they would look like. Oh my gosh. And then naturally she made it through to Endgame as well. We watched that here, and she was like, okay, check it out. That's a little much for me. And my grandfather was like, oh, I got to see Thor swing his hammer. Not one of these Swedish guys on TV, painted up with the fur on his neck and the helmet. He's like the real deal. I was like, I know, right? All these great stories and everything coming out of portals, lifting the hammer because you're worthy, bringing down the lightning. This is us. This is why we get attached to these things. Harry Potter, the magic wands and the flying broomsticks. And magic is real. Magic's your imagination. I sound like my intro right now. Take that inner child and lift that inner child out. All right, so the rest of the week, I'm going we're gonna like shy now away from the entities and stuff, and just go back to some of the cooler tracks that I listen to when I meditate and that I enjoy. I want to share them with you and take you on that journey with us, and just keep bringing it. Sorry I did it so late today. Like I said, it was just a little backwards. Maybe people catch this in the morning and they'll get like an uplift from hearing Ganesh, which is great. And naturally, it's always now, so they're getting it anyway, right? Whoever's out there sleeping, they're passed out. All of a sudden, Ganesh came running through like the bedroom, like the closet door flies open, and then whoever's in the bed sleeping, they kind of like peeking, peeking over the blanket, and then Ganesh comes, do 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 do, right, and then he like looks back before he gets to the other side of the room, and we just come piling out of the closet. Get him, yeah, right. All different crazy shits just jumping through the room with us. They're like, we told you not to go to bed early. Get up. I wouldn't miss this shit for the world. Or maybe you get that in the morning and then just start your day too. We come running through the house, pour the coffee as we're running through. Get out of the way. FearLess coffee. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Yeah, Michael, I got totally in touch with my feminine stuff inside of me. You have to. You've been everything. And in this place, everything's split. So just like a car battery, to run this is how you know it's an electric universe, right? Everything's the one side or the other, the duality. But that keeps the circuits. You know, if anybody that knows electricity knows that's how you do it. You know, I one time was sneaking around in a basement with these two girls and then my buddy Tommy, and we couldn't see anything, but we knew the light was like up kind of where we were, and then we just couldn't see anymore. So everybody was holding hands. And I grabbed the light bulb. I found it, but it had a plug like right above it. It was like part of that piece, and I grabbed the whole thing, and I couldn't let go. I was like, ah, and then poor Tom on the end, his fingers were black. It was an awkward experience. He screamed. He was like, oh my God. And the girls in between, we all couldn't let go of each other. It was the weirdest experience. I said, man, it hurt, but it didn't hurt as much as you're making it sound. He thought, look at my hand. I'm like, wow, that could have came out of somewhere else. That would have really sucked. An electrical evening with my friends, ladies and gentlemen. But I appreciate each and every one of you. And, you know, give yourself, yeah, I know, give yourself a pat on the back. I don't know, like a lot of us don't have that. Or some of us forget. So it's really important to just, you know, give yourself that hug and be like, yo, we're doing this, baby. We're doing this, right? We're all there spiritually doing it, but make sure you do it for yourself. Like I got to remind myself too, to look in the mirror, not just to be like, oh, you're worthy. I'll look in the mirror sometimes and I'm like, man, you're just like a gorilla boy. Like, I don't even know what to say. But then I start looking like deeper, and I start to see all the different shapes and sizes and things that I will be, whatever. And I feel really connected to it, like instantly. And I start smiling. I'm like, and it looks back at me like, I'm like, we're doing it, homie. It is like, no, homie, we already did it. And now we're just living through it. Holy shit. Give yourself some props. You deserve it. It's a rough season as it is. You know, this whole world has got balls trying to pull some of these fucking maneuvers that they're pulling right now. Just stay strong, one day at a time. Every time they push forward, we just lock in and go, no. We don't give them one step in. That's it. It's over. If they take 10 steps, they got to take 10 steps back. You can't come over here. Spartans would never let you come over the line. You'll cross the line. Yo, I'm going to come over there and do some stuff. Oh, yeah? Let's see you do that shit. Because the answer is no. You step over that line, that's it. But at that line, you're meeting a shell of armored men and women. They brace against each other with their shields and their weapons to work as one unit. We will send you back to your side in pieces. And that's just how this works. I love you too. You okay? Everybody says hi.
I just pooped for everyone. I purged for everybody. Because when you said your grandma in Jurassic Park, it was like...
Paul says she purged for everyone. Listen, it was so funny when Joe was here. He had purged, and then I ate mushrooms. I was sitting here, and it was hitting me so hard, and I leaned back in the chair, and I'm having like this scanning done of me, and Joe's looking at me, and I'm looking up like I can't even see, and then I feel like, oh no, I'm gonna purge. Holy shit, if this is gonna happen. But the mushroom had me like sedated. Joe said he saw me levitating, and I felt my back cracking, and like my center right here came up. So I was like in the chair, but I go, oh come on, how am I gonna throw up like this? Don't make me do this. I'm at my fucking desk. That's what I said in my head. And I watched it go up, come up, and then just leave. It went in the other room. Now I had my eyes closed, like, oh, what's happening? Oh. And then I hear Paul go, oh. She just runs out, goes into the bathroom, and slams the door. Oh my God, I'm purging for somebody. That would be me. I literally saw it. And then I was like, oh, Paula, this sucks. That was a good day. Sometimes we purge for each other. We can't do it. Someone just can't do it. They can't let go, or they're in a situation like that, which just can't happen. And any of you that have had a true purge, well, we all have them, but like the way we talk about it, where you just it's coming out. It's not just a sickness, like a physical sickness. It's like a spiritual sickness that comes out, and you don't even know it. And then once it's out, you're like, I feel so much better. Everywhere. Interesting. So interesting. It's not always work or hard. He's correcting me. GANESH. It's not always about work and hard work. Always, sometimes about pleasure, fun. Physical body maintenance. A lot of people like yoga, dance, stretching, exercise of all kinds. Find your thing and do it, baby. Do it. Yeah, I don't channel, by the way. I only channel my higher self most of it, like 99% of the time. It's just my higher self. So I look crazy when I talk to them because they stand right in front of me. And it's just, they're there. They're right there. Questions and answers right there. You could be doing that yourself. You're tapping into the energy. Let it wash over you. Let it flow through you. You're grounded. And then let it fly. Whatever that means to you. Go out there and get it done. Love you guys so much. Everyone said thank you, Paula. Woo! I'm not going to tell if you said that. So yeah, I'm the people would assume that I'm the one. They'd be like, in that relationship, you see him and her, that poor girl. No, no. Yeah, Josh, man, this stuff comes out. I blew something at him. I was having a problem with my nose for like 3 days, 4 days, and up here, I guess there was something, and I don't know what was making me pinch everything, and I was just trying to breathe, and I must have loosened it up, and it looked like the fucking thing from the Matrix, like a biological one. But when he puts it in his stomach, that fucking weird thing that they pull out, I was like, that I was like, why would that be in there? How did that get in there like that? Makes you fucking wonder. Everyone who's like, I'm so clean, guarantee you there's something going on, especially people that live in the cities. Yeah, this stuff is crazy. But look, the body, we're overriding all the programs, everything, the hologram itself, with our consciousness, allowing us to push and purge this stuff out. As the creator, as source itself, I command you to leave. Now, at one end, that works really great. And on the other end, you're still going to have to, there's times you might have to go to the doctor and actually get medicine because you could fucking die. And then on another level up, there's like a holistic way to get to things, like an old fashioned way that'll work really well. And you don't really need to go to the doctor and fucking waste your time. And then other stuff like, you're not exercising or getting a little lazy in certain areas, or you smoke a lot of cigarettes and you fall into these little weird spots where you get these little weird colds and this and that. We're getting impacted on all levels of that stuff. Everything you touch, it's in the air. Every time you're in the chemtrails, even though you think it's not affecting you, that shit's in you. It's just like, and I hate referencing this movie because I really did not like the original Batman movies with Michael Keaton. But the Joker in the movie was trying to poison everyone, right? So before he just sprays everyone at the end of the movie, Batman's trying to figure out in the Batcave. It was kind of cool, this part. And how is he doing this? Because people are getting poisoned. Like, and I'm testing stuff and it's not in, like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. So then he's like, let me just test all the products. So he just tests everything and he finds the variations are in like the toothpaste, a little bit in the water, the hair gel, the hair spray, all the kinds of foods, anything that goes poof, in the candle. It was everything. So as you're mixing the combinations, whatever is in your DNA that would activate it, instantly, boom, Joker smiley face, you dead. You die with that smile on your face. And he was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, wow, that's just exactly what's happening to us. Literally happening to us. And the crazier and deeper we get and the more revelations we get, we're going to see more weird stuff. So I'm just going to throw this out there because I was talking to Paula about it earlier. This guy that interviews super soldiers was on Michael Jaco. I like to watch him because he's a Navy SEAL. He reminds me of an old coach I had that used to yell at us, "Come on, fat boy, run." So I'm used to that kind of character talking. It's easier for me to understand that guy than it is for me to like dig deep into certain characters. I like the way he rolls. But the super soldier guy, the interviewer, shows up on his show. Now that's the guy that interviewed the super soldier guy that said it all takes place in a mall. I know you're probably not going to believe that. And we had the chip in the ear in the same spot. And the guy's from Australia. So someone in our FearLess family posted that video with the guy talking, the interview. And now the guy shows up on Jaco. He's like sitting in the room with them and they're having a conversation. So I'm like, oh, look, it's the two guys together. So I'm seeing characters that bring the truth kind of lining up. Like we're all doing it. So there's no one left out. It's just those that aren't really doing it for the right reasons or whatever. They kind of fall to the side. But like I'm looking up the line, looking at them because they're older than me. So I kind of like look up to them a little bit, I guess. I don't know. There's no one for me to talk to except Paula and then like the crew here. But I'm listening. Like there's times where I just want to listen to someone, you know, and Elizabeth Abel and those, that doesn't always work for me because I hear a little bullshit in there. Right. So, and even with some of the guys, but I'm a guy, so I could cut through their bullshit a lot easier. Anyway, my point is this. He starts talking about remote viewing something, and he starts talking about pocket dimensions and how like you can have like a base of operation, right? And then it'll look like this apartment, like an 800 by 800, you know, round fucking dome. And then you open it and you go inside and it's infinitely large. So it's not actually here. So there are like undersea bases, he was saying. So he's like, there's a reptilian base, he was saying, between like Cuba and Miami. It's like out in the ocean, right in the middle part. So you would have to go down deep into that area of the ocean to out. And I was connecting comic books to what the dude was saying because it was blowing my fucking mind that now let me just tell you. So he was like, so you can't just access this place because if you go and there's no door to knock on and then you go in and now it's actually an area that you access a portal and it's like you walk through the door and it's infinitely large, but it's a pocket dimension. So I was like, wow, this sounds really familiar to me. Like hyper familiar. So then he says, yeah, so they wanted assistance with people, humans, that understood portal technology. Like if I could open a portal and just like Doctor Strange, open it. So according to them, there are a few people on the planet that can do that. They can just do it already. That's what they can do, right? So the good guy ETs were going to those people to have them open a portal to access the pocket dimension and raid the place. And I'm like, wow, it's fucking crazy, right? He's like, because you can't just go under the ocean and enter that place. Because if you blew that up, they'll close that doorway and open another one out of the pocket dimension. So you're not really doing anything to them. But the humans they went to, these random people to get to work with them, can just open portals. They're like specialists at it. So because you're here on the earth, you're grounded to the planet and you can open up the portals and there's natural portals and all this shit. You can tap into that and just send in a crew through them. And I'm like, okay, so what does this sound like? The X-Men? Someone that could open portals. I could just open up a portal and send you in. Okay, I have to see where I'm sending you, so I can't just teleport into the room. So I need someone to kind of open it, let me take a look, and then I could zip all you guys into here. Or is it the Fantastic Four where they said, Reed Richards says, I'm going to go in the process of fixing the problems of everything. And they're like, what? He's like, all right, first we're going to take the villains and we're going to put them in the negative zone or whatever the fuck they call it. I think it's the negative zone. And they build a prison and it looks like this corkscrew thing. And the negative zone is the negative energy dimension that's infinite in all directions and filled with this energy, and that energy fills the multiverse. So this is also the energy that washed over like Reed and the Fantastic Four to create the Fantastic Four. So they were tapping into this place. So he just opens a portal, builds this structure in there, and starts loading the villains in there. So they just pack the place and then have AI run it. And on the other side, the insectoids show up, Annihilus. And he shows up with some power rod controlling the hordes, they call it. But it's billions and billions and billions of insectoids. And they just keep coming. And he just points at you, oh, and as long as he holds this thing, you can't kill him. He's a big insect. And he rushes and attacks. He goes for the portal, but winds up taking out the villains as he goes. And then you have to fight these characters. And I'm like, so that's really based on real shit. The pocket dimension. Oh, well, we'll just stuff shit in there. No problem. I'll just open this portal and put it in there. I just watched a cartoon where Kang, the Conqueror from the future, he's standing there and he's like, do you guys think you could actually beat me? And they're like, yeah, we're going to fucking kill you. And they all run at him. And he just opens a portal on either side and he pulls out a gun and an axe from the future. And he just lights everyone up. He's like, yeah, you're not winning. And they're all defeated. And then he just goes through and he puts them back. He doesn't have to carry anything on him. I'm like, oh, look at this shit. Where else do we see this? Doctor Strange. I don't know if he did the pocket dimension thing yet, but he's definitely done the dial where he traps the guy. They push the guy through the mirror and then turn the dial, and it's accessing other areas. So you turn the portal off on the other end for the guy to jump back through the mirror. Trap him in Siberia. Here you go, bye. I'll just leave you in the middle of the ocean. Boof. Push you through. So this guy's claiming that shit's real. And I'm sitting here going, I just saw this and read this in comic books, literally. And it's like really popular ones too. Interesting how this is going to play out. It'll be way more interesting than my overall story to give to everyone, even though it's my personalized experience that I share with everyone. When it starts to just come into the public view, or like even like private sectors of people like us who are involved with raising our vibration, will see stuff happening. And then we'll hear people talk about it because they've been involved with it, because we won't maybe have a reference point. And we'll be like, well, you ever see those guys before? Nope. Where you guys from? Beep, boom, beep, boom, beep. Well, they're from beep, boom, beep, boom, beep. Apparently, I don't know. But we're gonna make friends and see where this goes, right? Like, we'll have a reference point that someone else will pop out and fucking be like, I was in the mall too. That's what made me freak out when I was listening to them, because I talk about the mall all the time on the show. Like, you won't believe it. You go in there and there's everything there, but it's not a mall, but it's a mall. You can access inner Earth. You can access interdimensional areas. You can get clothes. You can eat food. You can watch stuff. You can have experiences with things. There's like, it feels like it's almost like an airport and a luxury hotel with a high rise. And each area is accessible. And then outside, there's this giant river that flows around it, like a moving water. They must be getting energy from that. I've crossed over that. Seen the parking lot area. I've seen them landing all different things, from ships, like starships, to like dudes like us that would have like drone type technology. I think like just fans, like just everyone's accessing it like it's some hub in Star Wars. And you go in and the ceilings are really high, everything's gold and silver, and it's just beautiful beyond anything you've ever seen. And you're walking around and they're like, whoa, but everyone is in there. No one's really starting anything. There's really no problems. I've even talked about the Nazis I've seen in there. I'm like, what the fuck are there Nazis here? They're like, dude, that idea came from off planet. Right? They're already here. And they're there. And then they came back out here. And I'm like, they're just busy working it, huh? He's like, yep. I'm just reading some of the Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of patterns, all kinds of designs and shapes and symbols. We're putting this all together. And as the world opens to us and the real information starts leaking out, like when I hear people talk sometimes, and I'm sure maybe you guys do that with me, I'm sure you would have to try to call bullshit on stuff. And I know a lot of people have tried. And I'm like, how do you call bullshit on my experience? Like, you weren't there. And if you were there, you wouldn't be calling bullshit because those people are all in 100% as well. But we're going to start opening up to other people that are there. Like, I saw you there. I remember you. You're the one that did whatever. You will see them. We'll do. The bullshit meters will go off, and or not. You'll be in the proper frequency, and you'll feel it. You'll go, oh, this is good. This is good. This is what's up. I remember this. I've been being in deja vus recently, where I played the whole thing out. I said, I recognize this is a deja vu. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Okay, I'm in it still. I didn't even blink. I was like looking down like, okay, I got this. And I just kept moving, doing what I was doing. And I realized, oh, I'm washing dishes. I'm drying some stuff over here. I was like, why is this important? I'm just fucking washing some dishes. And then, I'm going to create something really cool in about 2 minutes right over there. And I had just finished the last dish, put it down, came right over here. I had already something rolled. I started smoking, and I threw down a demo and wrote a verse that I was trying to finish. I couldn't finish it. And I got this middle line part that I got stuck. I've been trying, like, not just straight rapping through the verse. I'm trying to do different things, different dynamics within it. And it fucked me up a little. So I had a couple of unfinished pieces. Boom, 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 done. And then I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then I sat there in that, it took no time. I think in an hour it was all done. And then I was tired. I like looked up. I was like, man, should I play a video game or something? I don't even know what to do with myself right now. I was like, maybe I'll just go to sleep. You know what? I don't think I will. I'm going to just sit here and yeah. And I just kind of smiled at myself like, man, you did a lot right there. Ain't nobody going to know about that till you actually get it out into the world, but you did a lot of work right there. I said, man, that feels really good. Feels really good to know that I got 1, 2, 3 things done. And Kev's hearing this. He's like, hey, fucking please just record them and send it to me. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Just do it. And I'm like, no, everything's coming out perfect. We're about to drop the next song. We're like, literally all I have to do is do the cover. And he gave me some great artwork. And I got to just slap some stuff on it. And then we have another song ready to go. Something like we've never done before. I'm sure Kev isn't, he would say I've never done it like this. Singing and rapping. It's different. It's cool. It's fucking cool, man. I'm happy to be part of like the next few will have this rock infusion with him singing and doing his thing with us spitting verses on it. And then the next one is like, it feels like it's cranked up even more and has more of a combination of rap again, but like one after the other instead of verse for verse or this or that and singing and this. It's more like rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. Then you go boom, 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 boom. Then singing, scratching. I was like, whoa. So it's turning out to be something pretty cool. Yeah, man. This is what. Okay, so like the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I'm talking about what's going on in the chat room. You'll be visiting places. That's what I mean when I say Star Wars, because I don't have a reference. Maybe Star Trek, but not. I don't know. But yeah, it's just like it. So the ideas that we're getting for Star Trek and the comic books and for this are coming from what we've already done, where we've been. We don't know who's who. according to the super soldier interviewer guy, he interviews hundreds of people that are super soldiers. So they're all over the fucking place and they're just waking up under some kind of hypnosis or something occurs. They start remembering and blah, 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 on and on and on. Well, guess what? If you listen to the whole and hear what everyone's just kind of saying and taking what's working, you'll notice pinpoints on a map of things we're all experiencing one way or another. And the remembrance is occurring. It's just that they're physically going there, physically. Like, I'm there in my body, standing in it, looking right at you. See, I'm going under ayahuasca, mushrooms, meditation, and then just showing up there and being like, well, there's those guys too. And how do I know? And like, I don't know how to explain this, but how do I know where we go? I go under ayahuasca or mushrooms sometimes, and others could experience the same thing. But I'm not just jumping into my body over there. So it is physical. It is a physical reality. That's why when I'm walking by creatures, I'm like, whoa. That's why I say when I'm the spirit version of me, I'll say it like I'm an etheric version of myself, or the light being, the light body. And then I'll go, no, I was Frank. It was me, chubby me, bald head, everything. Just looking right at him like, whoa. So how do I know that's not real? I mean, it feels real 100% every single time, regardless of which way I go or which way it occurs, whether it's etheric or not. Whether the reptilians are in the room with you, which is fucking frightening beyond whatever, or etherically they step into the room with you. That's frightening as fuck too, because they're using technology that can do stuff to you as the light body, which I find to be very unattractive. That there's a technology out there that could do that to a being that is within his oneness or wholeness, that he couldn't stop that from occurring. That's something that bothers me. It's like, well, we built technology to suck up source. And it's like, I don't know. I would tend to think that someone like myself would see that tech and you'd go to use it on someone like myself on a higher level, and none of your shit would work and would just fall apart in your hands. And then it would release everyone you've ever captured because I said so. See, but they're like, you're not quite there yet, and whatever. So it makes me tend to believe that we're so important and everyone's watching on us to bring us up, because we are on the other end going to be that potent character that they don't really have floating around out there too often, right? Like there's a lot of telepathic beings and, hive minds and bugs or reptilians with tech that does this and all these weird shit. And then one day we emerge. Now, naturally, there are humans out there doing the same thing in the universe. They're upgraded and all that other crazy shit. But I'm talking about light body characters standing with you, right? Like Space Jesus just standing there looking at you. And you're like, everyone's in Star Trek's outfits. This motherfucker's in a robe that's glowing. And he can still walk over and just be like, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. What are you doing? In any way, shape, or form he deems necessary. And I know there's that love and compassion, and love is the fuel that fuels the awesomeness. But if you were to try to use a weapon against that, it makes me tend to believe that the universe doesn't have an abundance of light body characters flowing around through it. They're there, like everything else is, but not the way it's going to be. Because I'm like, man, you guys have a lot of emphasis on us. What about you guys? They're like, well, we've ascended and we've done this. I'm like, yeah, right. Light bodies? No, none of you. No cat body, light beings running around. Like light bodies, not just advanced citizens of space or some shit. Like, look, there's Ashtar, and he's standing next to a golden glowing guy that can apparently manifest anything and walk through walls and fly through space. Is he even breathing? Is that electricity? He's golden. I don't even know. Is that the sun? Is it God? What is this? I don't think there's an abundance of those characters running around. And I think there's going to be. Because they were explaining, like, one Jesus, fully unlocked, space Jesus, is good for your whole universe. So if you turned into like super space Jesus, you can take care of the whole universe, technically, at that level with the abilities that he would have. But there's 4 billion of you. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of space Jesuses. And he goes, right. And not everyone's like space Jesus. Like everyone's different. So you will get different outcomes and effects with each one of these beings, making the universe that we're about to go into impossible to have like what you would consider an evil villain or darkness. So, because I hear the super soldiers talking. They were talking about how magic is shut down and how the conscious energy of magic is overlaid with technology. That constant projecting of a different frequency stalemates that energy while they collect elementals, gnomes, fairies, or fae, or whatever you want to call them, all the different things, right? And then they try to, they come here to be on the planet and be part of what we're going through, and they get kind of intercepted, right? Like as they're going in, and then their energy, that source energy, is used to fuel and feed them. And I was telling Paula, I'm like, why don't we just spiritually get together and just rush these places? Oh, they have ability to capture creators in their light bodies. And I'm like, man, you can't claim space Jesus over here and be like, oh, tech that disables light bodies. Like, I'm still, who's bullshitting in here? Right? I couldn't stand in my presence when I first looked at it, at my light body. I couldn't even stand in its presence. I had to be like, oh, should I bow? Should I kneel? They're like, dummy, that's you. And I was like, I thought that felt familiar. Let me just stand up and look at this. So I can't really stare at, like, you're not ready yet. I'm like, what was that? They're like, that was a pinhole in a wall. On the other side of the wall is you. And just that pinhole of light is what hit you. I'm like, man, ain't no force in the universe standing up to that. And you're telling me a reptile has the ability to offset that with some tech? If I'm a source, you guys know where I'm going with this. It's kind of like there's this, I can see on the in-between, somewhere between Frank being just Frankie and then changing into the light body where that occurs. But on the other end, I think hands down, there's no weapon that you have will ever. You just fucking go for it and fuck around and find out. That's what I'm getting at. All right, so I'm just reading some of this. When I first started this, Shaman Jimmy and myself used to have like small groups of people, and we would just drink ayahuasca, and we would kind of like meet up on the other side. Now he was in Florida, and he'd be with some people. I'd be with some people here, and we would get information. It wasn't necessarily from ayahuasca. It was like from other characters. And they would tell us like, okay, today we're going to send you back to check something out. We want you to see this. So I'm like, okay, where are we going? Because we wanted to fuck somebody up. We're like ready to like go in little packs and like disturb situations as physical as possible with our spiritual bodies. Does that make any sense? So they sent us to the rituals where the atomic energy was, the information was given, like from a being. And they were doing sex rituals and blood sex magic. And I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. So we had to watch that from a higher level go down, how it worked. And then I was like, okay. It was like we would all stand in a circle and say, okay, how could we go back? Go to the whatever point in the ritual you feel like going to. So some people would go like a day before, or I would go down. I would remove words. I'd rip pages out of books. I would just make words disappear. I would knock stuff over. Like any mistake they make during the ritual, loses potency of the ritual. So we would be dropping down their potency by a lot from the original ritual that is corresponding to what's holding us here, holding us back. So I witnessed all these crazy fucking rituals, and then we would like pull the rug out from under them. As we were doing it, others were just showing up. And we were like, oh, what's this? Like, I only drank with 3 people in my house. Jimmy's with 3 people, so we know the 6 of us running around, but I see about 25 of us. That's what I'm looking at. And then you just see the light bodies popping off, and it's like, oh, it's almost like you build it, they'll come. You know, just holy shit. I've seen some of you on the other side. I've been in brawls on the other side where I was getting my ass beat, and Robert Hawley, the Golden Lantern, shows up, higher frequency, and helps me ridiculously. And then other situations when I fought Abaddon, when I jumped onto his helmet, we were like this big on this giant's helmet. And I could see him looking at me through the helmet, and I just fucking started I was cracking it. And then Robert jumped on the glass. He's like, man, you like to just jump on the big ones, right? And we started breaking through, and then everyone that was part of this was looking up, just doing the same thing, like boom, 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 driving themselves into him, holding him down with nets, trying to melt his arm off, people fucking unscrewing parts. It was crazy. And I just smashed through, and I grabbed his head, and I was like transmuting his face. I was the size of like a tooth in this guy's mouth. And I jumped on his face like, and we did it. We beat him, took his arm, took a leg, broke the helmet, transmuted his head, and he just showed back up on the other side, right back onto the game board. And they were like, well done. I'm like, oh, all those people, we got to get that guy. Apparently physical isn't going to do it, and the transmute wouldn't work. And they were like, nah, hold up, guys. Everyone stop. And we were all just like, all over, just twinkle lights of light bodies. And we were like, this isn't how you win. And then I was like, oh shit, we're not here to fight. We didn't come here to fight. This is a heist within a heist. We came to lift the planet. Yeah, we're warriors and all that. We can fight, but we didn't come here for the fight. We came here to win, and you win by doing this. It's a heist. And they were like, yes. So we all stopped fighting, and then boom, we went up off the chessboards. And those of us that opted to be part of whatever that was, that experience in the spiritual realm at that moment, all were in 5D, looking down at the last chessboard. There was no other chessboards. I was like, what is this? They're like, you're leaving the Matrix. There's a freedom hologram, the hologram of the universes and the multiverse. You're trapped in an artificial matrix that's coming down. Know your holograms. Know your matrices. Yeah, I miss Jimmy too. We had some problems, but man, I love that guy. I think about him all the time. He was a good teacher too. He taught me some stuff. I was like, whoa. See, a lot of people are detailed and specific, and then they're like, well, Frank knows about this. I have no clue what you're talking about. I usually have to witness it firsthand. I don't read books about it. I don't get involved with it. I do my work. And however I get there through my awareness. So like yesterday, you guys were telling me in the chat room about when I had my emotions out here. They're still there here. So I can't get angry. It won't like come into me. It like just ejects and sits here. So I could look at it and then go, okay, next. I forgot what you guys called it. And then I'd look that up. It was like I can't remember. I'm really high right now. But I was telling Paula, and she's like, yeah, you're separating from it. And then I looked up the meaning of that, and I said, oh, this is what these yogis were talking about that I wasn't paying attention to, because they're like, oh, when you start mastering your emotions and it's almost like they're not in you, and you get everything out of you so you can be full and and then you can access all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like a fucking video game when I'm playing Tony Stark in the Avengers game. He has a circle around him He lights up, and I could choose to use this, this, or this. And then, like, the armor in this way, that way, or this way. It's all the same fucking shit. And the mantras are another form of the roar. Comes out of your mouth. It destroys demons. It fucking lifts you up. All things that power you up inside the program. So these old yogi guys be changing the false reality construct with their voices to break into reality, which to them at that time was like, whoa, what the fuck? So just our voices can do this. Kind of like Dune. In Dune, I think they do the voice thing. They're able to like vibrate their throats a certain way when they talk, and then they can get and hypnotize someone, like put that knife down, or go kill yourself. All this is takes on what we're about to do. It's just how you choose, how deep do you choose to dig into it. And once again, Ganesh is like, you can dig into it as deep as you want. If you take it too serious, you'll be fucking let down. Oh, shit. Sometimes you gotta just let go and have fun. That's part of the duality system here. You'll hit a wall with it if you're too stuck up with it. Thanks. Many roads lead to Oz. Enjoy yourself. Dude, we're in a hologram. I'm gonna just say it I'm gonna get a t-shirt. I'm gonna get a t-shirt made. I'm gonna do it. We're in a fucking hologram. Why do you think people are into Dungeons and Dragons and leveling up their characters and role-playing games and all of those build up where your character builds up? You get your origin and you move through and you get your fucking storyline and you're like, oh, well, it's the hero's story. Well, of course it is, because we're all on the hero's adventure awakening. Well, not all of us, but I am, and those that are hearing me usually are. I'm waking and I'm going on this journey. I don't know what the fuck is happening. And then you highlight it as you look back and go, oh, this is obviously the hero's journey. It's just in a free roam world with all this stuff going on. Powered by Source. And then they're trying to make the metaverse to lock you in to a phony reality, which we were already overlaid with a phony reality. It's still kind of there. It's just all the fucked up things are being taken down and removed. And that still takes time. But they're not sucking any more souls out. I'll tell you that right now. They're not playing that shit no more. I've been under so many times in so many different modalities, from plant medicines to just breathing and sitting here. I haven't seen, outside of like having rough thoughts and bad frequency days or whatever, there's been no straight up demon attacks and monsters and we're going to get your soul and eat your baby. Like, that's all out there, but it's not here. It's the wildest fucking thing, and it's all being broken down. So I don't have to worry about going in and the first thing is, look out, it's a monster, it's going to eat you. Like, I'm kind of over that shit. It's going to hold Frank down and rape him tonight. And it's like, the what? No, I don't like this game no more. I don't want to play that game anymore. Like, we already came here and did all the stupid shit we needed to do. We anchored the light. We showed Source what was up. We showed everyone else. We played our parts. And now we're in like the third act of the movie. And then everything is pixelated, even us, at a level microscopic, whatever that means, too microscopics. We go down deep. You're not touching. Nothing's touching anything. Explain that shit. We're coalescing together to create. No, your fucking consciousness is holding together pixels in a fucking holographic reality. Bong! Nice and easy. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. It'll drive you nuts. All right. I love you very much, everyone. It's an hour and a half. I try to only do an hour. Look at that. I love you guys so much. I'm tired now. I ate. I think I'm going to have some ice cream. And I'm going to enjoy myself a little bit. I'm going to sit here and look at some artwork. KG sent me, excuse me, and get this next album cover, like at least in the pre-stage, and then maybe have it done by like the next day or two. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. For those of you that I won't see, because I'll be here every day doing meditations. If I don't see or hear from you, Merry Christmas. And happy holidays. But I hope to see you again back tomorrow. And then we'll do some more meditation and we'll talk some more shit. I love you guys. Remember, the universe rewards bravery. You got to stay fearless, though.